There is a £5 note attached to this ball. In a moment, I'll be throwing it towards you, and whoever catches it gets to keep the £5 and the ball. If you manage to catch it, I will be donating another £5 to charity, to those who have been affected by the recent floods in Pakistan. Ready? Well done. The £5 and the ball are now yours. Congratulations. Hi, I'm Zahra, and what you just saw was a demonstration on what this talk is going to be about. Change. In order to make lasting behavior change, you must make it meaningful. By attaching meaning to any action, you make it more purposeful, which incentivizes others to take action, and before you know it, a small change could become a movement. Who cares that you're all sitting in the audience here today, and the last thing anyone expected from you was to jump up and catch a ball? But because you were positively incentivized to do so, when the opportunity arose, you made the most of it and benefited from it. Additionally, £5 were going to be donated to charity, which would have further motivated those of you who are slightly hesitant to take action. As a 16-year-old who's recently returned from living in Asia for the last 10 years, I've been surrounded in a very competitive, career-focused environment. And I've been constantly bombarded with words such as agile thinking and growth mindsets in order to make me more adaptable and ready for the future. But does it really need to be that complicated, and is such effort required? No, not really. Making a change is really as simple as adding meaning to the actions you want people to take, or even to motivate yourself to take action. Once that's established, once your why is meaningful, tangible, and maybe even visible to you, obstacles to change seem less obstructive. Your motivation peaks and action actually happens. Now, before you think I'm some kind of child genius who spends her time thinking about the many complex issues that surround us, let me just tell you now, no, I'm not. I'm just a normal 16-year-old who'd rather be sitting at home watching Netflix right now. So why am I up here talking to all of you? Well, let me tell you. It's because making a change is really that simple once you know why you want to do it. And I should know, because that's exactly what my siblings and I managed to do. 9 years ago, living overseas, we spotted a fundamental flaw in the way our waste was being processed. We found an opportunity to do something, and without really realizing it, made the cause so meaningful to us that doing something was almost instinctive. 9 years ago, we set up and founded a recycling service called Zap Trash, which is slowly helping save the planet. Just imagine how meaningful it must have been for us to sacrifice 450 Saturday mornings. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me introduce you to my brother Hassan, who will tell you what we did.
Hello, I'm Hassan, I'm 13, and I'd like to tell you about our story of change. It required behavior change on 2 levels. First, changing our own behavior, and second, changing the behavior of those around us. 10 years ago, we moved to Singapore from the UK. It was an amazing experience and everything was so different to what we used to. For example, most people lived in high-rise apartments. Despite enjoying a new life in Singapore, we were very aware of one concerning difference. The day our letting agent was first showing us around our rental apartment, I saw a shiny metal flap in the balcony wall. Being 3 and fascinated by the bin and the recycling trucks while living in the UK, I was surprised when I was told to think of it as a rubbish bin. Was there a system inside that sorted all the waste? Sadly, no, that wasn't the case. You just put anything and everything in there and it disappeared. That didn't sound right, especially as we were so used to recycling while living in the UK. As a family, we continued our practice of segregating the recyclables from the non-recyclables. However, we were concerned when we found out that not many other people did this. We grew increasingly concerned and wondered what we could do about it. Luckily, we soon spotted an opportunity and decided to take action. We went about the enterprise methodically, first deciding on our mission statement, which was to get adults to start recycling by making it easier and meaningful for them to change their behavior. We then named our enterprise Zap Trash and created our logo and leaflets, which explained our motivation and what we proposed to do. We went around door to door handing out the leaflets, trying to convince people to recycle. Every weekend, on a Saturday morning, we went door to door collecting recyclables from those who had agreed. At the end of our collection, we took all the recyclables to the recycling facility. We we made the change easy for our customers by giving them both a weekly reminder on WhatsApp and a daily reminder in the form of a chute tag, which reminded them to check if what they were throwing down the chute could be recycled. Now my sister Amena will tell you more about what we did and how we made Zahra Trash more meaningful for everyone involved.
Hi, I'm Amena and I'm 10 years old. Just to put things into perspective, I was 2 when this enterprise first began. And at that point, my main contribution was to fight the others for a chance to push the recycling trolley, which incidentally was way too big for me to push. We had a plan, but the initial part was quite daunting. Being so young, we were shy, and the thought of just walking up to a stranger's house and convincing them to recycle was quite scary. But what was worse was the thought of the consequences of not doing anything at all. So we began. It was a great learning experience. We had a variety of responses, mostly encouraging, because at the end of the day, we were small children trying to save the planet. Most people listened to us patiently, but had a number of reasons why they couldn't take up our service. Some people spoke to us through closed doors, saying that they weren't interested, while others opened the doors only to slam it shut in our faces, threatening to report us to the authorities. Some people even said that our actions weren't going to make a difference and it wasn't worth it. We learned excellent lessons in perseverance and facing rejection with politeness and grace, and accepting that change is difficult for many people, no matter how small it may be. Despite the setbacks, we continued because we were passionate about our cause, and thankfully, we soon had many families wanting to join us on our journey. They agreed to change our waste disposal habit, and so Zahra Trash made its first collection. We were so excited about our new adventure. On our first collection, we went door to door, and soon the lift started filling up with newspapers, empty milk cartons, plastic bottles, and more. Just looking at how much we had saved from going to the landfill was amazing. Over the next few weeks and months, we spent a lot of time engaging with our customers, discussing what could and couldn't be recycled, how to prepare materials for collection, and apologizing to them if they'd had grief from their neighbors about leaving waste outside for us to collect. Our customers started paying us a token amount of $2 a month, which would have made great pocket money, but instead we decided to use it to fund something else we were passionate about, which is alleviating global hunger, poverty, and economic inequality. We used the money to sponsor a child called Michael in Kenya, and have been doing so since then. Over here, I'm 2 years old, and you can see what I mean by the recycling trolley being really big, maybe even slightly taller than me. Showing up at 7 a.m. every Saturday was not easy, but for me it was the norm since the age of 2. And at age 7, I was rewarded by being promoted to CEO. Who was I to say no? Over the 9 years, not only did my siblings and I stop 13 tons of recyclable waste from going to the landfill, but we also inspired others to take action too. Other families in different condos made sure that their neighborhood worked towards recycling and were very aware of how to sort things out. For those of you who find it hard to visualize how much 13 tons of waste it really is, it's about equivalent to 3 Asian elephants in weight and 3 city buses in volume. Despite moving back to the UK, we haven't just abandoned Zahra Trash. We wanted our customers to continue their good habits, and so we handed over the reins to Tanya Almeida, aged 11. Tanya will continue our mission and grow Zahra Trash even further. Here, I'd like to share an inspiring quote from Margaret Mead, who said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." Living in the UK taught us so much and gave us the tools we needed to make a change in Singapore when we moved. We hope to be able to continue making positive changes that will allow us to craft our own future. I'd like to end with what my sister said at the start when one of you called the ball she threw. The simple formula to making lasting behavior change is making it meaningful. And to be successful with change, you have to make a start. Even though you may start small, you will finish big. Thank you.